Hi, Sandy. Natasha talked earlier today about finding that balance within the offense of like when she needs to be more aggressive as a scorer, but knowing that she is a facilitator first. What have you thought about that, kind of how she's done in finding her identity within this offense?
Yeah, look, obviously it was really smooth sailing early, and the last few games she probably hasn't been as involved, but she's still impactful. And I think that's the most important thing. If you look at our net rating, she's right at the top. So it's not about scoring, it's about how she can impact at both ends of the floor. And while she's probably not getting those open looks, well, she's getting some open looks and just missing them, I encourage her to keep shooting them because we know they'll go down. All the players, they work on that every single day. But it's just how she impacts with her assist, her penetration downhill, and just trying to add to it now. We're just trying to add some more layers in there. So just stay the course. We're in a good spot. She's going to get more and more comfortable as we play more games.
I have a non-game question, my apologies, but the Portland Fire could potentially be coming back. And I'm curious, as a former member of a, franchise that no longer exists, what you think the importance of bringing back the original names are when, we see what's happening in Portland. Like, why is it important to bring those original names back if you think it is?
It's a great question. I think that's something the city has to determine, but I was around when the Portland Fire were here, and I was a part of the Miami Soul that obviously disbanded as well too. And it's just that it's great that we're continuing to grow our game with more teams coming back in. So if they want to choose the Fire name, it's been there before, so it's not a new city. So why not go back with the brand where it was and continue to build on that?
Hey, Coach, I'm just curious if at this point in the season, you don't have to get into specifics, but if you're starting to see a commonality in the way teams are attacking you, if trends are starting to appear based on, perceived weaknesses or ways teams think they can get out of your team.
Look, I think we're our own worst enemies sometimes because we got down by 17 in the last game and we didn't really execute as well as we should have, and going under on shooters and giving them wide open looks. But we showed what we're capable of when we're locked in and playing. We want to disrupt and we want to shrink the floor and we want to make sure we rebound. But I think what was probably the movement more than anything, because we can cover every spot. It's just the movements and everyone just staying committed to what we're trying to build defensively. We're going to have breakdowns. Every team has breakdowns, but I don't think there's one hole for us that's very glaring.
And building off of that,
what were those eyes for? Jackie goes like this. What are you trying to say? Where's our hole?
I don't have a great poker face, clearly.
I'm only kidding, Jackie.
You're probably not. Anyway,
Well, I thought she was telling you, like, I did answer that question really well, and she was giving me the eyes, like. Carry on.
In all seriousness, building off of that, I guess, what do you think have been some of the reasons as to why you all haven't been moving the ball as well in these past maybe couple or few games?
Yeah, look, I just think that's just a commitment to doing what we want to do in the right way. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we get a little complacent, I suppose, but we're a team that we're not a one-on-one team. Mm-hmm. We never have been. And I'm not a great fan of it. There's a time and place for it, obviously, when we want to hunt some of the weaker defenders. But we're the best when we have ball player movement, 0.5 mentality, paint to great. You've heard me talk about this for years since I've been here, good to great. And when we're playing in that way, that's when we're at our best. We have high assists. We're just sharing the ball and not making it hard for ourselves by keeping the ball up the top or on one side. It's harder to guard when we can move teams.
And if I could ask another, there's been a lot of talk lately about how officiating needs to get better in this league. I don't want to get you fined. That's not my goal at all. But I think what I want to know is what is
What do you think is the reason why on the NBA side there isn't this narrative, but in the W side this has been a constant discussion for years and years and years?
Is it? Yeah, I think it is a little bit in the NBA side, isn't it? I think it's everywhere. Every sport is going to talk about the officiating, and I know it's hard. What we all do is hard, isn't it? I'm not going to be perfect. My players are not going to be perfect, but it's about learning and being better. And from game to game, I suppose it's just a little bit more inconsistency sometimes that we get within a game from a quarter with two different teams, how it's being officiated. I suppose most of our best officials go to the NBA too. So we're always having to develop new ones. And I think when you have to officiate in college and WNBA, it's two different rules. You only can get better when you're playing in one system. It's like if, obviously FIBA rules are a little bit different, but it's still the same line, it's just a defensive 3 second and on offense and D. So that's what's changed there. So look, we just got to keep plugging away. I'm sure they're going to keep working and we've just got to stay the course. And for me, it's we can't get into that narrative. We got to worry about ourselves. We want to have championship habits and that's about getting better day to day.
Hi, Coach. In this 10-1 stretch, we've seen how some of the new additions like Natasha Cloud and the re-additions of Marine Johannes have helped the team. But how have some of the coaching additions like Coach Wade and Sonia Rahman played a part in this that may not be immediately visible? Yeah, no, they've been great additions. We're always trying to, get people in here who can add to what we already have. Always thought we had a great staff. So it's just, putting layers onto what we have. Sonia has the NBA experience. We thought that would be beneficial for us. And obviously I have a lot of connections in the NBA, so I talk to a lot of those coaches as well and always learning because we have a similar game, don't we? So that's great to get that connection. And then Andrew Wade, what a great, just a young coach coming in. Obviously it was that unrivaled. He's been in Washington for quite some time, but I've loved what he's given to us. He's an assistant coach. Yes, he's the head of our player development and just some of the stuff that he's brought to us. It's added another level to our professionalism and how we want to aid our players to be the best they can be.
Sandy, looking at this team's ability to come back from deficits, it's happened a couple times this year for wins. And after the game, Sabrina just said, oh, hey, we just woke up. But what are you saying when you are in that deficit, in those timeouts? Is it completely strategic? Is it sometimes just get back to basics? Can you kind of take us into what creates that change or that moment to turn on a run that changes the game?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything. As a coach, I've got to work out what do they need in that moment. I didn't feel like we had the urgency and the physical presence that we needed at the start, and we're not supposed to go under shooters, and we did. So sometimes I'm just like, what are we doing? We're on our back foot. So yeah, I talk about it's not. We knew they were a really good team, and it was how we're going to respond after a loss here. And obviously, yeah, I can yell at them, and I did at halftime. But then after that, it's more like, different strategy. We're down 17. It's like, just focus on what we can control right now. Let's be positive and just little changes up. We changed obviously some things that we did on the ball, and we got a little bit more aggressive. But it's just the players, they're experienced. They know what's needed. Them collectively staying together and getting out there and doing it.
Hi, Coach. Thank you for taking the time. Until Saturday, you oversaw a streak of 101 consecutive games, WNBA record of allowing fewer than 100 points. And you were part of number 2 at the Miami Soul, as a matter of fact. So how has defensive pride...
Knock me down, defender. That's right.
How has defensive pride and focus evolved since you got here? And how proud does a streak like that make you? Even I know it's perhaps a bare minimum, but even in an era of evolved scoring, how proud does that streak make you?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. It's Miami. We didn't win a championship, but it's just commitment to excellence. It's still making sure that both sides of the ball are important, because it is in basketball. It's not just who scores more. I know in the old days in Phoenix, it was more like, let's just shoot as much as we can and shoot over 100 every single time. But you try and play to the strengths of your players, and we want to play at both ends of the floor, and that's how the best teams are.
Peter Senate. All the way in the back.
Hey, Ben.
How are you? Filling off a little bit of what Jackie asked about, like in the NBA, fines are fully transparent in terms of players and coaches. The WNBA seems to selectively announce when coaches, players, and teams get fined. I guess, do you feel like there should be complete transparency as it relates to
Oh, man, you really guys make me talk about the officiating. Yes, I think it is. Why not? It's, if we get fined, shouldn't it just say we've been fined? I mean, there's a respect for the game as well too, but it should go both ways. I think that's the most important thing. But look, I don't want to get fined here too, but I just got to go out and do my job to the best of the ability, and we have to don't let the officials impact the way that we play. So that's always my messaging to the players.
Marine Johannes has joined you again this season. Have you found the same Marine than previous? And what do you expect from her? And what do you think about the rule of the French national team doesn't allow players to play in WNBA if they want to play in national team? So you can have her now during the European Cup.
Yeah, we love having Marine back. She's a really special player for us. Has been here in and out, obviously, since 2019, I believe. I wasn't here at that stage. But look, I think she's one of one with how she plays. It's more about making sure she stays confident and not forgetting who she is. And that's the most important thing. So I was really, really happy how she responded mid-game. She didn't have a great first half for us in that last game. But the second half, she was able to change and had a 23 plus. So for us, that showed her impact. Even though she only had one basket, she just certainly helped us on both ends of the floor with her passing. They have to guard her, but also her defense. So, we want to continue to grow on that and making sure that Marine stays confident in who she is. In terms of national team, I think they allowed way more to come this year. Usually they don't allow them to come at all. But I think, the WNBA, this is their job, and this is where they get paid. And as professional athletes, you only get paid for a short time because at some stage you have to retire because you can't play. We're probably not good enough to play in this league too. So I think federations more are supporting their players, international players, and it's great to see. Now, Marine made the choice to stay. Which we're happy about. It might have been really tough for us with our Europeans. But, hopefully it doesn't put a black mark on her name as we move forward into the World Cup and the Olympics for LA.
Fish pride. Sandy, with Sabrina's back-to-back 34s, and she's scoring at a career-high pace. Is she doing anything differently to get points this season?
She's just playing so good. And I don't think it's been spoken about enough, I mean, gosh, that's too, yep. Tweeting. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty special. She is pretty special with the way that she can score. 3-level scorer, ability to shoot the three. She's amazing. She's got this, depth and quickness and confidence to take any shot there. But, getting to the rim, she's deceptively quick. She's improved her floater and her pull-up game. She's hard to stop. We just ride her. We ride her when she's going. We ride her. Teams are probably going to try and be more physical with her, but I think she continues to grow a game with her movement off the ball as well.
Thanks.
Thank you.